What if I told you there was a country where the law didn't punish lying? It required it. That's right. In one specific courtroom, under one bizarre law, you had no choice but to lie, or you'd be breaking the law. And no, this isn't some dystopian novel or a scene from a fantasy movie. It really happened, and the story behind it is wilder than you can imagine. Welcome to Liechtenstein, one of the smallest, richest, and most picturesque countries in the world. Nestled between Switzerland and Austria, it's known for its stunning alpine landscapes, medieval castles, and a legal system that once had a very strange quirk, a law that made lying mandatory in a very specific and very important situation. So, grab your popcorn because we're about to dive into one of history's most peculiar legal paradoxes. Let's set the stage. Imagine the world of European nobility. We're talking vast fortunes, sprawling estates, and families with lineages stretching back centuries. When a wealthy head of one of these families passed away, you can bet the inheritance process wasn't simple. It was often a battlefield of competing claims, secret agendas, and family drama worthy of a television series. In Liechtenstein, this process was handled by a special court called the Fideikommißgericht. Go on. Try saying that 3 times fast. It's a royal inheritance court, specifically designed to untangle the complex web of noble estates. Now, this is where it gets truly strange. If you were summoned to testify as a witness in this court, perhaps you were a family friend, a servant, or a distant relative, you were bound by oath to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Except for one tiny detail: your name. According to a long-standing legal tradition, witnesses appearing before the Fideikommißgericht were legally required to use a false name. That's right, even under oath, giving your real name was against the rules. If you slipped up and revealed your actual identity during testimony, you could face a fine, or worse, have your entire testimony thrown out, potentially altering the course of a multi-million-dollar inheritance. So why on earth would a court of law force people to lie? What possible logic could be behind a rule that seems to fly in the face of everything a legal system is supposed to stand for? The answer, as is often the case with strange traditions, lies deep in history. It all goes back to the intricate and often treacherous world of the European aristocracy. Inheritance disputes among noble families were not just legal squabbles. They were high-stakes social and political dramas. Think of it as an elite soap opera where everyone was related, everyone had a secret, and everyone wanted a piece of the pie. Testifying in these cases was a delicate dance. Imagine you're a trusted advisor to a duke. The duke dies, and his 2 sons are fighting over the castle. You know things that could help the court make a fair decision. But if you testify against the son who eventually wins, you've just made a very powerful enemy. Your career, your reputation, maybe even your safety could be at risk. The fear of reprisal was very real. People were hesitant to speak freely if their words could come back to haunt them in the gilded halls of high society. This is where Liechtenstein's bizarre law came into play. It was essentially an early aristocratic form of witness protection. By forcing witnesses to use a pseudonym, the law created a shield of anonymity. It protected them from the social and political fallout of their testimony. Of course, the court wasn't clueless. The judges and clerks knew the real identity of the witness. The false name was a legal fiction, a procedural mask that allowed the witness to speak the truth about the facts of the case without fear of personal consequences. It was a system built on a paradox. You had to lie about who you were in order to be more honest about what you knew. In practice, this must have created some almost comical scenes. Imagine a stern-faced judge asking a witness to state their name for the record, and the witness, a well-known local baron, having to confidently declare, "My name is Greg from down the street." The whole courtroom would be in on the charade, a collective agreement to uphold this strange tradition for the sake of justice. It was a clever, if convoluted solution to a very real problem. It allowed the wheels of justice to turn more smoothly by acknowledging the messy human reality of fear and self-preservation. This legal loophole gave people the freedom to speak candidly, ensuring the court got the information it needed to make a fair ruling on who inherited the family fortune. Does it make perfect logical sense to our modern minds? Maybe not, but for its time, it worked. So, is this still a thing? Could you waltz into a Liechtenstein court today and introduce yourself as Captain Starlight? Well, not exactly. As legal systems evolved and society changed, the intense, self-contained world of the nobility began to fade. The need for such a dramatic form of witness protection diminished. Modern legal frameworks have developed more straightforward ways to protect witnesses without resorting to mandatory pseudonyms. While the historical Fideikommissgericht and its peculiar rules are now more of a fascinating footnote than a common practice, the law itself was a real and historically enforced part of Liechtenstein's legal heritage for a long time. It remains one of the weirdest and most interesting legal loopholes in European history, a unique case where the truth about your identity could get you in trouble, and a small, state-sanctioned lie was essential to keeping the system fair. So next time someone tells you, honesty is always the best policy, you can smile and say, well, not always, and definitely not in 18th century Liechtenstein's inheritance court. If you thought a country forcing you to lie was strange, wait until you hear about the Swiss town where it's illegal to own just one guinea pig because it is considered animal cruelty, or the Italian village where it's against the law to die. The world is full of bizarre facts that sound completely fake, but are 100% real. If you love discovering these hidden gems of history and culture, make sure you hit that like button and smash subscribe. Follow our channel for more unbelievable stories you won't find anywhere else. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.